Hello, I am Yogini Sunita, and this is Meditation, Yoga, and Stuff podcast. I believe my dharma or my life's purpose is to share my understanding of meditation, yoga, and Ayurveda, holistic healing science of India. I make these amazing wisdoms accessible and adaptable for present times. So let's start.
Hello and welcome to the podcast. I explain about how to bring in positive habits into life. That was last week's podcast. If you have not listened to it, go back and listen to it if you want. And in today's podcast also, I'm going to talk about positive habits. And these habits are basically for our personal growth. So, why we need positive habits? The reason for that is our brain is quite interesting. Again, I'm explaining it from very lay person's point of view. So, a part of our brain which needs regular habits, which needs regularity, and then there is a part of our brain which is our frontal brain, which makes us human, wants a little bit of new adventure every day. So, how can we take advantage of that? So, sages or yogis knew this understanding in their own way. And in the wisdom of Ayurveda, which is the healing science of India, this understanding, they realize that we need some habits regularly and making sure that these habits are positive, which are for our growth, our well-being, and understanding that these habits are can be extremely powerful. So this understanding we're going to take into modern world, and in modern world also we see lots of information about habits for personal growth, habits for success, and things like that. So similar concept, but we are now exploring like, okay, so yes, these habits are there, and I talked about habits related to your health last time. I talked about cleansing mouth and things like that. So today I'm going to talk about habits for personal growth. And here, habits like meditation can be extremely powerful. Now, let's take a look at our modern world. And in modern world, we can call it self-reflection. Reflection every morning. If you start noticing what's happening in your system, okay? So this is the reflection. We are physically tuning into our system. You can call it meditation, you can call it mindfulness, but basically what we do is when we wake up with awareness, after cleansing your body, evacuating your bowels, you sit for meditation. You can start tuning into your breath. Now, this is also a part of self-reflection in wisdom of yoga, because our breath is very interesting. Like every time it's different, and we'll also notice that our mind and our breath is extremely connected. So we tune into that, we understand that, okay, how is my breath in this moment? And just noticing, just becoming that observer, and you will start noticing that our mood and our breath is very much connected. So what if we start working with our breath? This doesn't mean that you start taking like a labored inhale and labored exhale. In fact, the pranayama or yogic breathing practices are very subtle. So what if you imagine your breath is filling all your body, all your lungs, and you're exhaling fully. And just this image can really help. You can start there if you want. And if you know a yoga teacher who teach pranayama or breathing practices, you can go to them and learn from them as well. So learning these breathing practices can be extremely powerful. But here, today's topic, we are learning to basically self-reflect. And how do we do that is just tuning into how is my breath at this moment? You can do this not just in the morning, but you can do this throughout the day whenever you remember. Now, what else can we do? When we start noticing that the breath, you'll notice that the mind calms down, and then you can bring awareness towards your mind. You can start noticing what rises and falls in the mind without really following the thoughts. Now, this is a beautiful way to tune into what's happening in our life. What happens that sometimes daily stress and daily issues, because of that, anxiety can creep in or depression can creep in. So what we can do is with our self-reflection, we just start noticing that, okay, this is happening and this is how I'm reacting. Awareness is the key. According to yoga, when we become aware, it is we are winning the battle already. Okay, so when we become aware, we understand that, okay, this is causing me either anxiety or depression or stress. So when we start noticing that self-reflection can be very powerful, then you can take the steps to move towards removing the causes or reducing the causes of that stress. Now, what if you don't do self reflection? Then you will never be aware of that these kind of things are causing you stress. So, this is why taking that pause and observing what's happening in your thoughts can be very powerful. What else can we reflect on? Throughout the day, you can notice the tone of your thoughts or notice the tone you speak. When according to yoga, our speech is very powerful, and so if the tone of the speech is negative, that is going to reflect onto our psyche as well. So consciously bringing tone of your thoughts, tone of your speech into as much positive as possible. I'm not talking about false positiveness. Tune into really what's happening with your thoughts as well, and consciously change your words from negative to positive. Tuning into, like, are your thought, the tone of your thoughts is very negative or is it positive? And you can tune into the strength of the mind, and remember, there is always choice. So the choices you're taking, that also comes from self-reflection. So consciously tuning into that. You can also write it down if that works for you. Some of my artist friend do this. They, in the morning, they just write down. They start writing first thing in the morning, write down whatever comes in their mind. And then a week's time, they go back and revisit all those writing. So every day they're writing and they go back and notice that some thoughts are repeating. And so if that works for you, that is also one way to do it. I personally never use this method, but I use the observing the thoughts throughout the day. I notice, what's happening with the tone of my thoughts throughout the day. So tuning into that. And also taking action. So not just becoming aware, because that will not take us anywhere other than we may just procrastinate. Oh, this happens, and not taking action is going to affect as well. So when you gain the insight, then you can take action, and that action can be very, very powerful to move towards your optimal wellness, towards your optimal growth, your personal growth. So you can use that. Now, another thing is, as I said, like our mind, our brain needs challenge. So we need some regularity. So self-reflection, let it be your regularity. But goal setting, that can be your challenge. Now, you can take a small steps. For example, every day you set a small goal. Do one thing which you have not done before. And that is also can be very amazing. We can live very thriving life just with this habit. Or you can actually have your goals set, end of this year or end of this month, this is where I want to be. or end of today, this is where I want to be. You can really set very small goals or big goals. It's really up to you, but tune into how can I set goal, and setting clear goals is really good. And make sure these goals are achievable goals, because if we set impossible goal, then we are setting ourselves for failure. And I'll give you an example. A lot of time when I teach meditation, when people say a set goal like I will meditate every day for 1 hour. Now, this is where we are setting ourselves for failure. But how about you start meditating for 5 minutes, you slowly build up to 1 hour by end of 1 year, and that will work very well, so that way we can bring the set the goals. Now, setting goals is can be really fun actually. You can use like things like vision boards. You can really tune into motivations, like what is it you want. When we start bringing these thought processes of what is it I want, we can then move towards completing these goals, and we have something to thrive towards, right? So having goals is very, very beautiful. The first thing is identifying your values and your priorities. So what are your values? What is most important in your life? What is really important to you? Now, in wisdom of Yoga and Ayurveda, it is believed that we are a unique fingerprint of divine. So what is important to you is going to be very unique to you. So trust in your gut feeling, and this is where your self-reflection will come into play. Then also, how do you want to achieve it? How do you want to achieve this? How can you break down these goals? So say, for example, if you have a really, really massive goal and you want to make sure that, by end of this year, you want to achieve that, then breaking it down. For example, how will you move towards this goal every week or every month? And have that kind of like a list ready so you can play with it. You can pay attention towards where you want to move towards. Having goal can be very, very amazing. Also, taking specific and measurable steps can be also very, very important, because then that gives us something to achieve, something to fulfill, and that gives us a sense of fulfillment. For example, I will meditate 5 minutes per day. So you know that you have this goal, and then you can maybe even set a goal that I will do this for 21 days. So you are doing 5 minutes meditation for 21 days. And at the end of it, you celebrate, and then you can take the next goal. You may do 10 minutes meditation for maybe now increase the days, like 40 days. So this is way how we can increase or take a bigger steps into achieving our goal. And you can see that by end of the year, you can see that you're able to achieve a lot, having these goals. You can also set personal goals. You can also set your family's goal with your family. And it is actually a fun activity to sit together and reflect on, like the all family member can come together and set a goal together as a family. And this brings family together, and it is really wonderful for personal goal. You can, for family's goal and personal development as well. It is a fun activity for kids as well, and they see you doing this and they are learning by just observing you. So this is a one tip for parenting. I have created a course on aware parenting, yoga for aware parenting, Ayurveda for aware parenting, and meditation for aware parenting. Go to my website and see if you're interested to take this course. First, level 1 is free. Level 2, you can, it's not very expensive, so you can buy the level 2 if you want. Now, let's look at continuous next goal, which is I truly believe that continuous learning, There is so much wisdom in this world, and there are so many amazing people in this world who know more than us. So it's always good to learn from these masters. And I, this is what I do every year. I invest into learning from a great master. I truly believe in learning from a right mentor for our need. I invest into learning from these great mentors. These mentors can teach about wisdom of yoga, Ayurveda, or also sometimes about business or sometimes about technical stuff. So I'm curious about a lot of things. I'm also curious about visual arts, and I will try and learn that as well. So anything really helps your curious mind. If you want to explore that and learn about that, that is a good way to do it. And learning from these great uh, people, learning these wisdoms can be really really life transforming for us. So you, if something like that works for you, I suggest that that is something really amazing to invest into, so that you're basically putting money towards your personal growth. I do regular mentoring sessions with these kind of mentors or people who are really amazing in what they do. My Ayurveda teacher is he is a living legend of Ayurveda, Dr. Vasant Lad, and I feel very blessed to learn from him. You can also become part of a like-minded people's community that can also be very helpful. So having these kind of like communities or learning from the great masters, and I call them great masters because they are great at what they do, you know, and so learning from them, I find it very valuable to just experience their greatness through that continuous learning. You may even enter into a course or something like that. I am guilty of doing lots of courses. I continuously learn through courses as well. There are so many amazing online courses nowadays. Especially after pandemic, there are so many amazing teachers teaching online courses, so you can be part of that. You can be part of an online community which can help you to grow. So something like that where you can continue growing. Also amazing books, attending workshop, taking courses, like so many ways to learn. And constant learning gives us opportunity to thrive, to grow. It's really good for personal growth. It also keeps our brain young, you know, because we are flexing muscles of our brain, so it's really good for our brain as well. Now, as we are flexing muscles of our brain, the next habit is also flexing the actual physical muscles. You know, basically, we need exercise. So, what kind of exercise? It's really individual. So, for me, yoga asana is the way to go. And I also love nature walk. So, maybe that is something you like, or you may like jogging, running, swimming, whatever works for you. You may like gym, and that's okay too. But having that daily habits of movements is very important. This helps us keep our muscles strong, our joints healthy. So, finding a habit of daily exercise which will give you strength at the same time, which will keep your joints, your muscles, your whole body at a level of physical health, which where you can really thrive. You know, a short walk, stretching, a long walk, cycling. There are so many ways to bring in daily exercise into your life. So tune into what really works for you. Why I'm saying daily exercise? Because our body really needs it, the daily movements. It doesn't have to be like, hours and hours of exercise. You can just do 5 to 10 minutes if you want, especially on the days if you're tired, if you do gentle movements like very gentle yoga practice, asana practice, where you are working with your joints, you'll start noticing that you actually feel better, you feel energized. So you can bring that in your life. There is nothing like daily exercise. And you can also we can also find balance here as well. Like maybe some days you may feel like doing strong movements and other days gentle. Really listen to what's happening in your system and follow your understanding. And this is where self reflection will come into play. Now, next habit is mindfulness or meditation. Mindfulness or becoming aware of what we are doing can be really, really impactful. Because when we become aware of simple tasks like washing dishes or eating your food or sitting down for meditation and becoming aware of sensations in the body, or when you are walking, really become aware of your surroundings, at the same time become aware of your movements. All these are mindfulness practices. You can use them to really enjoy the present moment, enjoy the now. Most of the time our mind is either into future or in past, and that increases stress for our mind. So mindfulness helps us to bring ourselves into in this now. So the regular practice of mindfulness trains us to move towards meditation practice. So guided meditation practice is also really amazing. If you are new to the meditation and mindfulness, I suggest guided practices. But over the period of time, you can let go of guided practices and just become aware of what's happening within you and your surroundings, and you will start noticing that the benefit of that is extremely valuable. It will increase your focus, reduce your stress. It will you will also understand your thought process. You'll understand how mind goes into sometimes unnecessarily in panic mode, or how you take the stress, and it will help you to reduce these stresses, and it will help you to let go of unnecessary things sometimes we hang on to. There are 4 meditations, audio meditations, free audio meditations on my website. Feel free to go to my website, the-wellnessbusiness.com, and you can see it in opt-in. There are 4 meditations there. Now, sixth habit is time management. As a modern human being, we want to do so many things, but I also know that a lot of my client also tells me, and I have been guilty of this as well, procrastination. So when we have so many things to do, the mind goes into stress and procrastination. So how can we reduce that? And for this, time management is so important. How can we learn time management? And this is where your self reflection, your goal setting, and your mindfulness can really help you to manage your time well. So, prioritize your task and avoid your distractions. So, when we become aware of what is happening with our mind, we can actually manage our time better. If this sounds interesting to you, try it, try these habits and see how they can help you to manage your time better. Another way of doing this is also having every morning preparing a list. Every weekday I prepare a list because that helps me to keep track. And I may not complete all the 10 or 12 things on the list. I may complete maybe 7 or 8 or even less, but that's okay. At least, I am on the track, and I know that what I need to complete next day as well. So I will add that next day on the list. So having list is really good, but also not making your life so rigid that you are not living your life and you're constantly just doing your list. So find that balance. On weekends, I usually don't have any lists, and I really enjoy, or at least once a week or twice a week, no list, and really enjoy the go with the flow experience. So find that balance, what will work for you. And seventh habit, which I always talk about, is gratitude. Gratitude is extremely important for our well being. It is really, really amazing how we can shift our focus from negativity to positivity using our gratitude. So, at the end of the day, maybe writing down 5 to 6 positive things happen to you and make that your habit. That will help you to tune into gratitude in your life. That will help you to become aware that what you have in your life, because a lot of time we don't even value or notice the goodness in our life. So gratitude is extremely powerful feeling, and you can actually bring in so much positivity in your life, in your relationships. So gratitude is absolutely must for personal growth. I hope that these 7 habits will help you for the personal growth. I have also done a podcast on gratitude, maybe a couple of them. So go back to the episodes and take a look and listen to those episodes as well. Gratitude is something which is so valuable. It actually impacts our brain very positively. It is really can make us happier. That's the beauty of gratitude. So daily gratitude can literally change our world for better. So having this habit of daily gratitude can be really, really wonderful. There is a lot of research done on gratitude, and the scientists found that it is really magnificent tool we can have as our personal growth. So I hope that today's podcast has helped you include habits, positive habits for your personal growth in your life. If you want to learn more about how to move towards personal growth, how to move towards your optimal well-being in on all levels, then join me. You visit my website and you can actually join my wellness tribe. Wellness tribe is something where we come together and move towards our optimal wellness on all levels. Personal growth, emotional, mental, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, and also we work towards our purpose of our life, our goal. So I will be there to guide you. Also, you will have company of people just like you who are on this path. So join us and experience how a positive community can help you. Thank you for being here. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate that you're taking this time out of your day. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care. Bye for now.